Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, the Xanadu Chronicles. My name is Frank and today I am continuing on the quest to switch out my decor for the fall and winter season. Now I'm going to be working in my master bedroom and my master bathroom, which are connected, and I'm going to show you what you can do with just a few items to kind of change the look for your room and give it a fresh look for the season. Now, one of the things I like to keep in mind when I do switch out my decor is, especially now in the fall and the winter, because there are so many holidays coming up, I like to try to work the schemes so that they serve as a foundation for what I'm going to do for the holidays, specifically for Christmas. So that way I'm not pulling everything out again to switch it to holiday mode and then back to what it was prior to that. So I try to do that and keep that in the back of my mind. Now, in the current state in my master bedroom and bathroom, the color scheme has been predominantly blues and greens and in those families because we have a very seascape themed room. We've got a lot of seascapes on the wall. It's one of my husband's favorite colors, the blues and such, and so that is the prominent color in this room, and that's still going to play a role in the new color scheme that I'm working through, but I'm going to be integrating pink in the color scheme. Now, our primary bedding is white. The bed sheet, the flat sheet, and the main pillowcases, not the decorative ones, are all white. So my scheme for the fall and winter will be pink, white, and blue. And when I say pink, I mean the range of pinks. I'm not trying to hit one specific type of pink or shade of pink. And I think that's important to also remember is that working families, don't try to have the exact shade of pink per se in the room, all over the room, because that looks a little too stagnant and a little bit, it doesn't look as sophisticated and thought through, because it's, you're just trying to get the same color around the room versus trying to work in the families. So pink and the ranges of pink that fall in that family makes for more of an interesting space. So keep that in mind too. Now, in my master bedroom, the primary piece of furniture is this secretary. So most of my decor is contained in here, or the most prominent pieces of decor. Granted, we've got art on the walls, and I do have another console in the room, which I will be switching out a couple items on there to continue the theme, as well as in the bathroom, just a couple items switch out just to continue the theme. But this is the focal piece in this room, because when you walk in, it's one of the first things you see. So I'll be spending some time switching out a couple things in here, and I'll be getting, walking on and off camera for this because I couldn't keep everything here for the switch out. So let's get started. Now, in here, as you can see, and I will also put up a picture so you can kind of get a starting point so that you can see that the prominent colors in here right now are blue and white. And I created vignettes that have those colors in there so that your eye moves. Now, I'm going to be keeping just a few pieces of, or actually I'm only going to be keeping one piece of blue and white in here because blue is still in the new color scheme. But let's get started on the top shelf. Now, the prominent pieces up here are the trophy as well as the platter behind. So those are going to go and get switched out. But I'll pull this little puppy down first. Let me pull this out. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work down each shelf and show you what I'm pulling out. The blue willow platter. This piece here, which if you watch my prior video, I actually did a video showing how I styled this out. And this I chose because of its beautiful pattern and the shapes that it creates with the scallop. And it looks great on the shelf. It provides a focal point on the shelf, but this is going to go because I've got something else in mind. And down here, the one blue item that I have, this beautiful piece of agate, geode, whatever. It's a bookend. I couldn't remember the name. It's a bookend, so that's going to go as well. So this is what I'm working with right now as it stands, and I'll shift a couple things to make what I'm putting in there work. Okay, so I will be right back. Okay, so I've gathered my pieces, and we're going to start with the top shelf. So, if you remember, sorry about that, we had a blue willow platter at the top. Now I have another blue willow pattern, but it's actually in the pink colorway. So it's an oblong or oval shape versus the more rounded shape, but that's okay. It just covers more of the back here, which is great. Okay, now, excuse me. To switch out from the gold to the silver, it's not a trophy, but it's a beautiful jug with a floral design on there. And I will continue with this little photo of my husband's family when he was younger. So, if you notice, I took out the biggest gold piece. I still have a little bit of gold in here, but it's going to be a little bit more of the silver family versus the gold. But I'm going to still have white, and I'm going to still have the blue. But I just wanted to show you that because that was such a dominant color in there that with that big gold trophy. So I'm switching it out so I can tone it down a little bit and bring in my pinks and make that a little bit more of the stronger, color coming through, okay? So the second shelf, I'm going to keep the blue because blue is still a color that I'm working in this scheme, but it is now going to be moved over to the side here because I'm going to put a smaller vase, also very sculptural with the draping effect on it. But with that, I put the picture of my brother that was just kind of leaning against the books. I put that in a gold frame because I want that to be worked in here. Now I have to push this back a little bit. Actually, let's see here. My idea was to put him back here. There we go, not in the front. So you have that. I'm still keeping this blue and white over here. Okay. Now on this last shelf, the bookend was down here. Switching that out for this piece, but as you'll see, the book is too high. So I'm going to take this down. I'm taking this book. This is where, of course, I pre-worked this out, so I know it's going to fit. But you got to work these things in here. You got to make that happen. This here has some space. I'm moving it over just a little bit so that this puppy squeezes right on in. And now I've got the opportunity to put another sculptural piece there. This little plate that I had before. And of course, for those of you who saw my last video, one of my favorite pieces, my mom's butterfly knife, which she used to use when she trained with my father, and they taught martial arts. So that's going to go in here. And now, I hope you can feel or see that it has a stronger pink presence with the pink up there and this family down here. This red in the middle ties, the red in the book helps to tie it even though I don't have pink on this shelf. So that is what I'm doing here, and it only took, what, 1, 2, 3, I put the frame on, 4, 5 pieces that I switched out so that I could get a new look in the bookcase. So there that is, and I hope that's interesting enough for you. Now I'm going to move to another part of the room where the console is so that you can see what I switch out there. Again, it's only going to be a few pieces, and but it'll continue on with this pink, white, and blue theme, okay? So bear with me. Okay, folks, so now I'm in front of the console, which is actually opposite, on the opposite side of the room from the secretary, and I will show you a pan of the whole room once it's all done. And it's right next to the entrance of the master bathroom. So as you can see, I've got a pretty wild, excuse the pun, display, but I'm only going to change out a few things here again to carry on the theme that I'm going to, that I'm trying to integrate in the room, which is the pink, the white, and the blue. So I'm going to take off a couple things, and I will come back with the replacements, and you'll see what I did. All right. So this needs to come out of here. Be right back. Alrighty, so I am back, and I've just got a couple items here. So with that, let's just do it. Instead of having the plant in the Oriental display, or what was I thinking? Not Oriental display, on the, or in the enamel pot that it was in. I took it out, and of course this is a faux plant, so you know I don't have to worry about any water or anything like that. And I put it on a Oriental or Asian styled platform, riser, whatever you want to call it, to add a little bit of interest and some contrast. I'm going to put the candle that I have back on here. And I have this tiny little, just a pink depression glass. It's got some floral designs on it. Little sorbet dish. Putting the matches in there. And that, my friends, is all I'm doing here. Now, why did I just do so little here? I tried out a couple things, and again, because of what's going on already, I've got a lot of pinks happening, you know, with the orchids, and actually in this art piece, this felted art piece on the wall. The blues, we'll call it blues, the turquoisey color, is enough. I think I don't need to have that blue everywhere, because again, I've got enough of the items in that family or close to that family that things will connect for people when they're looking at it, right? So this won't like be jarringly different from the rest of the room just because I don't have actual blue in the vignette. But it still reads as being a part of the rest of the design of the room. So that's all it is for in here. Now I'm going to do a couple changes on the bed to strengthen the color family story, and then we'll go into the master bathroom. So hold on. Okay folks, so now I am of course back in the other side of the room, and you can get a better sense of the layout of the space with the two twin beds, and you can see more of the blues like in the pottery that we have, and of course in the decorative pillows that we have, the blues and the greens. So I'm going to change out a couple things with those decorative pillows, of course, to strengthen the color story. So let's get started. First of all, this top pillow, and yes, I know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pillows on a twin bed. It seems a little excessive, but I don't know, believe it or not, we actually use all the pillows because, except for this back pillow here, I don't typically use that. That's the one pillow that actually sits on the chair when we're in bed, but the rest of the pillows all stay on the bed and actually get used. So, go figure. So this is a simple switch out, and I'm going to do this on both beds. And I think once you see what I'm going to be doing, you'll get it. I'll do it on one bed and do it on the other, and then I'll show you a picture of everything done so that you can see the final look. Let's move that over here. And again, nothing too crazy, nothing too extravagant. It's just a few items that you can inexpensively switch out to create a whole new look and visual impact. And that's the way I like to do it. Now, would I love to be able to switch everything out? The curtains, the rugs, all that kind of course, absolutely. I wish I could switch out the whole room and all the decor every 6 months, but you know, that's just not feasible for the common man, and I'm as common as they come. So now with that top pillow, now it's only going to be the top of that pile of pillows, because the other two are sleeping pillows which already have white on them. This beautiful seafoam blue-green that my husband loves is going to get switched out for a darker pink, a dark reddish pink. And then with that, like I said, remember working families, try not to do that whole everything has to be the exact color scenario. That to me never comes out looking, I don't know, it just doesn't come out looking as interesting as it does when you are working in the families versus trying to match everything up exactly. That just looks like Design 101 versus, you know, master class. So let's try to stay in the master class level, okay? So now we've got your pink family color, the white and the blue, and all I had to switch out were 2 pillowcases. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and give you a full view of the whole thing so that you can enjoy what the master bedroom looks like, and then we'll move on to the master bathroom, okay? Be right back. Okay folks, so I'm back and I put the pillowcases on the other bed, so now we've got symmetry. We've got the pink that carries from all parts of the room and connected to the design scheme, so you've got a strong pink, white, and blue color story going on. And one thing I wanted to point out about this pink, as I said, working in families, this darker pink, the reason why I chose it for the scheme is because it reads autumnal to me. For a place like Florida where we really don't get a change in season, just maybe a drop in temperature, if you're going to do something like that in a place like this, I think choosing a color that you will probably find in nature is the way to go for that time of year. So that's why I chose it. And again, it feels autumnal. It feels, it could feel very holiday, Christmassy in that regard too. So it serves as a great foundation should I decide to put more Christmas-specific decor in the room. The foundation of the pink, the white, and the blue I think works really, really well. And another thing you may have noticed is at the end of the beds, I put another textile down. It's a Kantha quilt, and for those of you who don't know, that's K-A-N-T-H-A. And it is an Indian textile, so it's a cotton printed textile, and there's stitching that goes from the whole length of it. They do a wide stitch all the way across all the fabric, and that creates visual interest and pattern. And I'll show you a close-up of it so that you can get a better sense of what it looks like. But I'm in Florida, like I said, the months where it might drop down to a temperature where we need an extra blanket. These are not particularly thick at all, which is perfect. So I can layer it up here. But, December and January, when the temperatures get a little bit colder, we might need more than just a flat sheet, which is what we typically only use. I even have another sheet that, I do have some thicker blankets on the worst case scenario in the worst case scenario that it drops below 50, heaven forbid. But really, these Kantha quilts work out best. And I have another color option that I use for the spring and summer, which I will pull out. And I use that alone on the bed versus the flat sheet. So I hope you like the way it looks. And again, one of the rules that I want you to think about is when you're playing with pattern, especially in a room with a lot of pattern in it, it will behoove you to look at the patterns you're using and vary the sizes of those patterns. Small, medium, large. Keep that in mind. Small, medium, large. The pattern on a rug is really large. This is a large pattern, larger in comparison to this one that's on this pillow. And there is a pattern on this top pillow, even though it's white, that's, you don't see until you're up looking at it, but it is definitely still a pattern. So it works out fantastically well to keep that rule in mind, especially especially if you're trying to do like I'm trying to do, which is to be a little bit more fearless in my pattern mixing and adding pattern in a room. And speaking of pattern, as you may notice, I've got these back covers on the back of the chairs, and I'm not switching that out. I mean, it has the color story in it, but with the blues, but the tropical decor is very indicative of our environment. We're in Florida, and you will see this all year long. So for me, it makes more sense. Yes, I could switch it out with something else, but I probably would always keep it in a tropical theme because of where I live. It would not make sense to have, a forest of, or a pattern that looks like fall leaves up in New England, because it just doesn't make sense down here. And that's, for me, is very important to keep your environment in mind when you're decorating where you're at, so that there's not a disconnect. And because we have sliders that open to our pool area and look directly outside, as you can tell from all the light, it has to connect. It has to connect. And so you keep that in mind, and you're going to always have a beautiful space. Now, last but not least, I'm going to move over into the master bathroom because we just have a couple things to change out there so that the pink, white, blue theme carries on into that space, and connects the two spaces together. So let me get set up for that, and then we will be getting on that and being done. So give me a sec. Okay folks, so here I am in my master bathroom, and I'm just going to make a couple changes in here and we'll be done. Now I will show you a close-up of the items so that you can get a better idea of what they look like, but I'll also do a scan of both the bathroom and the bedroom so that you can see how everything ties together. So really, we've got our sinks, we've got two exact same setup here on this side and the other one, and all I'm going to do basically is switch out what we have here in terms of the glassware, and we'll be set with the project. So get started with what we use as a drinking glass or garbling cup. I'm switching out with a simple pink, very, very subtle pink swirl cup, just like the depression glass cup or sorbet cup that I used in the master bedroom on the console. Very, very subtly colored. I'm going to keep the blue and white because our colors are pink, blue, and white. And this actually houses our little bite tablets that we use to brush our teeth. And where we put our toothbrush and various ointments or accoutrement, whatever. I'm going to switch this puppy out with a simple milk glass vase that I have. And again, because both sides are the same, symmetrical, of course you have to have items that you have doubles of, so keep that in mind when you're looking for stuff. Or if you want to be completely eclectic and make both sides different, you can do that too. Whatever you want to do, that's the name of the game, it's up to you. So, but I like to make it symmetrical because it is a symmetrical space. And finally the soap dish, which is just another Asian blue and white pattern dish. I'm going to switch out for, again, it's the blue willow pattern, but it's in an amazing pink colorway, and it's an old piece, and that's why the coloration's a little bit darker, but the transferware print on there is very crisp and just beautifully done and applied. So it's an amazing piece, and as you can see, it brings the red over to this side, adds a little pattern in what is a very simplistic kind of setting. And I don't know about you, but to me it does read as fall and winter, holiday-y kind of looking, but still in a tropical sense, if that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it does. I hope you like it, and as always with these videos, if you do like what I'm presenting to you, please let me know. Comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends and family to come on over and watch a couple of videos on a Saturday night. Whatever it may be, I appreciate the support, and I hope you'll be coming back for more. So next week I'll be doing another room in my house with a switch out for the fall and winter, and I hope you'll join me then. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. If you haven't seen our previous videos, click on the links and watch away. Please share, like, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. We'll do our best to keep you entertained and coming back for more. Bye for now.